Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. If you like all things true crime, if you like it delivered in a peaceful, tranquil manner, if you like it clear and concise without drama, then I highly recommend you subscribe. And if you like what you hear, please smash the like button. It's a free way you can help. And now, without further ado, let's dig in. 19-year-old Jay Slater from Britain remains missing. He disappeared on the island of Tenerife on the morning of Monday, June 17th, after attending a 3-day rave at a club called Papagayo on the popular Playa de las Americanas. The theories and rumors surrounding Jay's disappearance have reached a fevered pitch and now include Jay somehow boarding a 14-foot yacht, either by choice or force. If by choice, according to online sleuths, it would have been to escape people who are out to harm Jay or maybe even do him in, because he allegedly stole a pricey watch off a very drunk Albanian guy at the rave. And the Albanian guy apparently is very powerful. If Jay got on the boat by force, the sleuths are theorizing that it was to punish Jay for stealing the watch, or it was to whisk him away for human trafficking. Along with this boat theory in which Jay gets ferried away from Tenerife, there are also rumors that 1. The people who work at the bars on Playa de las Americanas, where Jay attended the rave, have been threatened that if they speak to anyone, they'll lose their jobs as well as their lodging. Apparently, when you get a job in these bars, you also get a place to stay. 2. There's another rumor that Jay had been hiding out in his friend Lucy's apartment, which is why the police showed up there to search her residence. But Lucy is the person who very quickly reported Jay missing after he called her somewhere between 8:15 and 8:30 on Monday morning to say he was lost and he was thirsty. So has Lucy been lying this whole time? And if so, why would she call the authorities to report him missing? Take a listen to what one TikToker had to say.
Right, so another update on the Jay Slater disappearance today. Some really, again, bizarre stuff coming out. This is regarding the workers now, which I did think was strange. None of the workers had actually been, kind of interviewed. They'd not spoke to any media or anything, and there was a reason for that. And that was because they were threatened with losing their jobs, losing their accommodation. Don't speak to anyone. Everybody keeps their mouth shut because there's more to it than meets the eye. And they know there's a voice recording that's come out this morning or yesterday evening, and it's an interview with a bar worker, a very valid source of information, if you ask me. They're very close-knit, they all know each other, and they all know what goes on out there. They all know, what who's involved in what, and this interview that's voice recorded, I don't know whether he realises it is, states that the police cottoned on quite quickly, hence obviously why the searches were kind of called off abruptly, that he wasn't in the mountains. They had a theory he might have gone to the Airbnb, but we're looking for DNA in the Airbnb because, someone said something to them, turned out to be a lost lead, and apparently their main focus, their main source of information was that he was hiding in Lucy's apartment after this watch incident. This watch incident is key. It's very important. apparently definitely stolen this watch off a really, really drunk guy.
There's also a rumor that Jay has been beaten up by whoever may be keeping him hostage, allegedly, and there's a photo floating around showing Jay with bruises. Keep in mind, however, that somebody could have easily faked this image. The photo has not been authenticated. What appears to not be a rumor is that Jay himself was seen looking not very well at the rave on Sunday night, and he even stumbled to the ground at one point. There are photos of this as well, and they do look authentic. To me, if Jay was so out of it that he was falling on the dance floor, how would he have had the wherewithal to steal a pricey watch off anyone, or even to grab it off the dance floor? Or could that tumble down to the dance floor have been him going down to grab the watch? Another element of this watch story is that one of the guys from the remote Airbnb in Moscow, Ayub Kasem, may have set Jay up by deliberately putting the watch on the floor and telling Jay to pick it up, thus getting Jay in trouble with the wealthy and powerful guy from Albania. Oh, what a tangled web online sleuths can weave. Let's return to the boat theory. The theory goes that Jay, after leaving the remote Airbnb in Moscow, headed down the mountains and cliffs on a well-trodden path that leads to the secluded Moscow beach below. Once on the beach, Jay would have boarded this yacht, which then turned off its radar and sailed off on some unknown journey. This theory sounds illogical to me for many reasons. First, let's look at the timeline. Jay posted a photo to Snapchat at approximately 7:30 a.m. The photo shows someone standing on the steps of the Moscow Airbnb. Presumably that's Jay, and he's holding a cigarette in his hand. We don't see his face though, so could that be somebody else perhaps posting the photo? But if so, they would have had to have used Jay's phone. Then, according to Jay's friend, Lucy May Laws, 45 minutes later at 8:15 a.m., Jay calls her and tells her that he's unsure where he is, he needs water, he's injured himself on a cactus, and his phone is down to a 1% charge. And at 8:50 a.m., we know Jay's phone pings for the last time near rural Detenyo Park, which is up on the mountains near Moscow. Either Jay walked there with his phone, or someone tossed his phone out in the brush there. But remember, Lucy's telling us that Jay called her. She heard his voice. He told her he was in a precarious and dangerous situation, lost out there in that vast, remote, mountainous region. For me, I'm leaning toward Jay walking there with his phone in hand, and that's because of his reported call to Lucy. If at 8:15 a.m. Jay's telling her he's lost, has no water, doesn't have much of a charge on his phone, it makes sense that he would be somewhere in that terrain, either injured or worse. And without water for any length of time, he could have easily died there. I'm sorry to say that. To me, this makes the most sense because of that call. I know some people are saying that Jay would have been found by now if he was up in that area, but others have said it's not easy to be spotted out there due to the dense brush and also a 2,000-foot ravine that he could have fallen into. So remember, he'd been partying for 3 days straight. He was likely sleep deprived, probably hadn't had enough water to drink. We know he was hungry this morning. He could have still been either intoxicated or under the effects of some substance that he may have taken that night. These are not ideal conditions for somebody setting out on an arduous journey in an unknown land. Let's talk a little more about this boat theory. So it's based on the fact that a 14-foot yacht called the Maruba really was sailing down near Moscow Beach around the time that Jay went MIA. Now, the yacht's journey and behavior, if you will, are why people are speculating that the boat could possibly be connected to Jay's disappearance. Bizarrely, the boat disappeared from electronic charts around this time. These charts are sort of like the equivalent of air traffic controller screens, except that they show where vessels on the water are at. For some as yet unknown reason, the Maruba suddenly vanished from the electronic charts. Could the captain have switched off the transponder to hide the boat's movements? According to tracking data logged by the Marine Traffic website, on the morning of Monday, June 17th, Maruba moored at 7:10 a.m. near the Barranco Seco Beach, which is a couple of miles short of Mosca Beach. And by 8:50 a.m., when Jay's phone last pinged, Maruba was traveling past Mosca Beach. Could the yacht have stopped there to pick up Jay? This boat, which is Belgian registered apparently, then made a 360-degree loop before going off the electronic charts at 10 a.m. Over the next 9 days, the Maruba remained off the electronic charts. Thus, wherever it traveled to is a mystery. After 9 days, the boat reappeared on the electronic charts for just 2 minutes. It was on the northern side of the island of La Gomera, which is west of Tenerife. Then the yacht headed back toward Tenerife, and it showed up on the electronic charts again on June 28th. So that would be 11 days after Jay vanished. Now, apparently to go dark by deliberately turning off a boat's transponder is illegal, and that's because it's designed to prevent collisions at sea. So we've got this mysterious vessel acting strangely, making turns, going past Mosca Beach. But the question is, could Jay have navigated safely on foot down the cliffs to Mosca Beach without water? And could he do it quickly enough to reach La Maruba while it was sailing past the beach? While this boat theory sounds intriguing and makes for a very good story, it sounds more like fiction to me. And I don't think it's the most likely theory for why Jay Slater is missing and still hasn't been found. And let's remember that Jay was last seen by a cafe owner in Mosca whose brother owns the cottage where Jay's 2 new acquaintances were staying. That woman said that Jay asked her about bus times before deciding not to wait 2 hours for the next bus. The lady said that she saw Jay walk out of the village, and we know that Jay's phone last pinged at 8:50 a.m. in the Rural de Teno National Park. And when he called Lucy, he said he was lost, he said he'd injured his leg on a cactus, and his phone was about to run out of juice. One person who's very upset with all these crazy theories is Jay's mother, and she made a statement. She said, quote, "Jay is a typical young man who loves life with a bright future ahead of him. This month will mark the end of his 3-year apprenticeship with the world at his feet. He is loved by everyone and has a close bond with his family and many, many friends. We would also like to say that we are aware of the awful comments and conspiracy theories that are filling social media. These theories are hindering the people trying to help us in their investigations here in Tenerife and are vile to see as a family. He is a loving son, brother, grandson, nephew, cousin, and friend to so many. He's such a popular boy, and this is very distressing for all of us to read." End quote. The other big news in the case is that a specialist team of volunteers is preparing to mount a fresh search for Jay Slater in Tenerife. That group is the nonprofit Signy Zoic Honden, which is based in the Netherlands, and it has deployed a team of 5 people and 4 dogs to the island, and a 6th person is due to leave for Tenerife on Monday. Now, this group has about 20 years experience in searching for missing people, and it contacted Jay Slater's family after reading about the case. And the group's dogs are trained to find people, both people who are alive and people who are deceased. The dogs also can search underwater and up mountains. The group plans on being in Tenerife for 5.5 days. So that's all for now, and I will see you guys next time on Bed Crime Stories. Hey, do me a favor, smash that like button. It really helps.